Hey guys, Disler Magic here, and yeah, I'm showing up a little bit late to this one, but there was a lot going on today, but boy do I want to talk about it. There was a surprise ban announcement on June 7th, and there have been 3 extremely unsurprising ban announcements, followed by something that I actually did expect. As you probably predicted, it doesn't affect Standard, but this time, they added a section for other formats and hit on Standard, Modern, Legacy, and Vintage. So stay tuned for that. The actual ban is so not surprising, I'm almost just going to blow through it. In Pioneer, Winota Joiner of Forces was banned. Honestly, the news here is that she wasn't already banned. I thought she was. That card's a disgrace. What else is there to say? But they also banned Expressive Iteration. Not particularly surprising, but I mean, I don't play Pioneer, but like, would this be the first place I would go instead of Galvanic? Probably not. But I don't play it, like I said, so Winota, if you're not familiar, 4/4 for 4, legendary creature, human warrior. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library, you may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, adding indestructible? Ridiculous. Way too fast. Treasures assist it too much. It's just, everything is wrong with that card. But then Expressive Iteration says, for 2, in Is It, let's just call it what it is, Storm Colors, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, put one of them on the bottom of your library, and exile one of them. You may play the exiled card this turn. Brainstorm, Ponder, just about every other card like this. In my opinion, they should ban Opt, but they haven't yet. But yeah, across the board in multiple formats, cards like this have been banned. And this is one of the most egregious versions of it, so not surprising at all. Like I said, though, in Standard at least, I wanted Galvanic gone, but that's a spell cloner. It's different. I think I got the right card name. I don't know. I certainly don't play the deck. Can't really reference it. Oh, and in Explorer, which is Pioneer what we have done so far on Arena Edition, I'm not kidding, that is exactly what it is. They didn't like use that wording, but that's what it is. Expressive Iteration has been banned there too. So effective date June 7th, which is the same day as the announcement. Dang. And let me just remind you, on the full list, All Runes Epiphany, Divide by Zero, Faceless Haven, and Omnath Locus of Creation have all been banned. I think since Divide by Zero was the bouncy card, they should probably get rid of Fading Hope too, but that's like the tip of the iceberg. I mean, should I even bother reading it again? Some for style reasons, I just don't like the cards and they're unpleasant, and some for balance reasons, they're just horrible, ruining the game and actually need to be banned. It's like 2/3 versus 1/3. Oh, here we go. Waking the Troll, Scootswarm, Westgate Regent, Tergrid, and her stupid lantern, Prosperous Innkeeper. Oh, good. Discord notifications, just ignore that. Elvish Warmaster, Spirit of the Elder Guard, Teleportation Circle, oh my gosh. Zerasan, Vorinclex, Skeletal Swarming, Delina, Avalanche Collar, Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, Angel of Destiny, Righteous Valkyrie, Howl the Storm Giants, Xanathar, Faithbound Judge, Lier, Hallowed Haunting, Brutal Cathar, hate that card, Toski, Memory Deluge, and Hullbreaker Horror. And I know I'm missing 2 that I forgot to add. The game would be better off without any of those, but like, do I really think they should come out and ban all those? No. Do I think that they should rotate Standard early and just say, suck it, we're doing it twice a year, deal with it, and then ban the remainder? Yes. I mean, they have to do something. Standard is unplayable, Arena's losing people and money, and just, they need to get a clue. I mean, even Rune Crab is seeing a resurgence with mill decks. Mill decks should never be a thing. Hyper control decks should never be a thing. If somebody wants to run some half-working, gimmicky, it might win, it might not, 50% or lower kind of control-a-thon just because they think it's funny or whatever. Okay, cool, not a problem with like a fringe deck like that, but now I would say half the decks being played against me specifically in the high-ranked leagues are just complete and utter shutdown. You can do nothing. Board wipe every turn, every other turn. I mean, just every single card is control and they stall and win with one thing. There's like 10 different versions of that. It's unplayable. Literally, you cannot play your deck unless you're playing that, and the mirror matches must be absolute hell on earth. They need to do something about that, and they need to do something about that right now, because I didn't build those decks to not be able to play a single card from them. It's getting to the point where I don't think people even win with creatures anymore unless it's on like turn 4. There's a red gimmick, a red-white gimmick, and a green gimmick, and arguably a black-red gimmick, and they all try to win on like turn 4 or 5. So let's just read what they wrote for Pioneer. They got this big, long, apparently well-thought-out research thing for a format that people do care about, but come on. Secondary to Standard would be an understatement. Come on. So, as noted in previous updates, we want Pioneer to provide as diverse an experience as possible, built out to an ever-growing collection of standards past. Yeah, because the last couple years of Standard were so great. I want an arena format, just like Alchemy, but they rebalance stuff quicker. So just like Alchemy, but they rotate twice a year. How would that not make money? Lower power level, faster games, easier to understand, easier to jump into, but more expensive to maintain. How have they not done that yet? Anyway, over time it has become clear that Naya Winota is suppressing diversity. Oh, do you know how much they love diversity? Or pretend to, as its power and consistency have drastically reduced incentives to play other linear creature-based strategies. Linear is just like corporate speak for boring, repetitive, and glass cannon-ish. Not only is it a resilient mid-range deck that can leverage many of the powerful mana creatures available in the format, but its explosive draws involving the deck's namesake can create unassailable battlefield states as quickly as turn 3, which, by the way, that would not be considered acceptable in Modern, let alone Pioneer. Their rule is turn 4. So due to its large metagame share, high win rate, and ability to create frustrating removal check gameplay, what do we call it? Like there's all this, what are they calling it to sound nicer? We call it, I believe, binary win conditions, where you either make it or you don't. Blood Moon is kind of the OG, like I either get it out and you lose, or I don't and you don't. The combo either goes off or you remove it. That's it. It's just boring. Some people enjoy playing like that, but those some people are on the fringe and they can go play a fringe thing. I don't want that in Standard. I don't want it in Pioneer. Also, I don't want to play Pioneer, so why am I even commenting on it? But still. So Expressive Iteration has been a multi-format all-star since its release in Strixhaven School of Mages. Yeah, that's code for it's way too powerful and they were idiots who let it through playtesting. Here's a little guide for you. If they made it a rare, they were trying to get it into other formats and sell it. If they made it an uncommon or common, they made a mistake. That was never meant to be played outside of Standard Constructed or Draft or Pioneer or Sealed or just whatever. It has fueled a variety of highly successful Is-It strategies, aka Storm, in Pioneer by both providing card selection and card advantage at a much higher rate than what is available to other decks. Too much, too early, too fast. Yes, treasures. Other decks they banned in the past in Modern. Other individual cards like pay 3, get 5 mana, which is just inherently stupid. Amulet Bloom. Too much, too early, too fast. Yeah, you gotta stop with that, Wizards. The power level on everything needs to be lower. So they say this makes it extremely difficult for other strategies to engage with them in wars of attrition, which if you're running an attrition deck, you're also an asshole. So although we recognize that there are several other powerful card draw spells in the format, notably Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time, I thought both of those were banned, we currently believe that Delve spells contribute to blue decks in Pioneer having a unique identity among Eternal formats. So finally something blue that isn't Control, but have they seen Modern where the only thing that people play blue for is not Control, it's just card advantage, scry, and this kind of stuff. And generally the pros who've been playing Modern longer than I have said that that's a bad thing, and I agree. It's not often that the pros and I agree. So as Pioneer's card pool has fewer strong cantrips and no fetch lands, thank God, we're hoping many Delve cards can continue to be part of the format. Really? You're going to put like Dredge in there too? Like just nobody likes Delve. It's interesting, it's fast, but when you expose it to a larger card pool, it just falls apart. So to lower the win rate of the wide variety of Is-It decks and bring them further in line with other strategies in the format while maintaining what makes them special in Pioneer, Expressive Iteration is banned. It's worth noting that we will continue to align Pioneer ban announcements with actions in Explorer, which is, like I said, it's just Pioneer what they finished so far, but they're not quite done because nobody wants to work for them and they're still hiring for like last 2 years and can't find anybody who wants to program Arena. So they rolled out Explorer in the meantime. It's literally just Pioneer what they have done so far edition. So anyway, Winota joined our forces was previously banned in Explorer. When we made that change, we noted we would revisit that ban with the release of Dominaria United. I can't imagine what Dominaria United would have possibly done to make that card okay. Add more humans? Like what was going to make that okay? A card that stops it? There are going to be 10 cards that stop it. Still, what do they call it? Control check or removal check or whatever? What would make that okay? Anyway, however, now that Winota Joiner of Forces is banned in Pioneer, we plan to leave it banned in Explorer going forward. Wow, shocking. They're not even waiting for the thing that they said they were waiting for to give people hope if they want to let them down softly after they net decked the deck to hell. Just stop pandering to those people, Wizards. So here we go. Other formats. While we're choosing to make changes only to the Pioneer ban list at this time, we did examine and discuss the health of each other competitive play formats. For each of those other formats, we found the metagames to be in generally healthy states. Or in a generally healthy state. Okay, well, it'd be plural, but okay. Characterized by moderate play rates and win rates among the most played decks. See, if they're only going to laser focus on that, they're not wrong. But the amount of people leaving Standard in droves suggests that they're not seeing the full picture and need to look outside of that. So I agree 100% with what they say, and it is supported by what I'm seeing, but Standard isn't enjoyable. It's horrible. The state of it is just horrible. So I don't care if it's fair and balanced with the couple, 10% of douchebags left playing and the 90% that left. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The game isn't fun. You need to rethink things at a more basic level. So they basically say, below is the short summary of our no changes decisions for several formats, because people are like, why are you ignoring standards? And they want to come out and defend themselves by telling half the truth by looking at half the data, as usual. I mean, if you're new to these ban announcements, they always do this. I'm surprised they're not trying to gaslight us and tell us, no, actually, Emrakul is the problem. It's not free casting. They're not just going to move on to the next Eldrazi Titan. Oh crap, they moved on to the next one. Okay, we're banning it. Guys, no, it's good for the format. It's perfectly okay that there's an infinite Saheeli Cat combo, and then 3 days later they did an emergency ban. They said, we're not banning it, and you're all being too alarmist, and it's too early, and we're going to see if something stops it. And then people were just, like, losing their minds, and 2 or 3 days later they came out and banned it. It's a long, long, long history of them being drastically incorrect and completely out of touch with the community. But yeah, they listen to people on Twitter and Mark's blog. I mean, what do you expect? If you don't have purple hair and didn't vote for Biden, they don't want to hear from you. A lot of problems over at that garbage company anyway. For Standard, they say, our data from the Platinum and higher MTG Arena ladder, which, once again, why is that your category? But okay, there could be some logic there. Shows that the Standard metagame as being in a healthy spot. Various 3-color mid-speed decks are the most played archetypes. That is absolutely true. The most popular of which, Esper and Grixis, not that anybody who's been playing for 10 or less years knows what those are, each occupy about 10% of the ladder metagame. That I don't know if I agree with, but Jeskai variants, which is red, white, and blue, featuring either Hinata Dawncrowned or Lier Disciple the Drowned. That's right, they're like featuring it. That's a good thing that people play that card. It is not a good thing that people play that card. Have been growing in popularity at high levels of play, but remain within healthy populations and win rates. Maybe. I mean, just the sheer level of control and board wipes are keeping them in check. And that's why if they banned 3 things, they would just get, like, let's say there's 10 overpowered decks and they ban 3, you would just have 7 overpowered decks and less variety. You would have 3 less toxic decks, but then you just have pissed off net deckers and achieve absolutely nothing. Like, it would literally do not one thing. They would have to make such a drastic change. That's why I said at the beginning of the video, rotate Standard early in July, or June 1st, half the year, just saying. Or is it June 15th? I'd have to see it, but maybe they're still going to do it. Just like, maybe I'll be able to record a video without the cops running their sirens through my neighborhood again. Probably my crackhead neighbors getting arrested. But if they did that and then just cleaned up the pieces and said, additionally, while we're removing, 1,000 cards, we're going to also take this action. That would be like nothing. It would just be, oh, we're ripping the Band-Aid off all at once. You know what I mean? So they go on to say, conversely, Runeforge champion decks, which are awful. It's just rune summoning, rune spamming, and then if you board wipe or blow them up and they can't stop it, they just forfeit. It's binary win condition. It's boring, stupid, gimmicky rush trash. I hate it. Anyway, and mono white aggro have become less popular over time. This is absolutely true. I can't win with my mono white deck anymore. Because Capenna had such broken crap in it, I had to splash blue to start cloning my white spells. So they're considering it like splashing blue just to clone more white stuff and then just continuing to run the same white stuff is a completely different deck, and that mono white has gone down in popularity. Really? That's how you measure it? Come on. So mono green aggro, while not one of the most popular decks, shows promising win rates. True, that deck is incredibly powerful, but it's slow, but it's powerful. And it's showing promising win rates against many of the more popular archetypes. So yes, everything they mentioned I've seen and more. There's some fringe decks where I'm like, well, that's better than even the stuff that people are playing more. So the variety is through the roof, and the balance between them is pretty good. The problem is the power level is so high that you can't play anything else. And that's not good. I mean, remember I said, If you want a deck building game where it's approachable to new people and they can build something just moderately competent without having to overdo all the math and testing because they're not used to that, and have them win a couple games with it, there you go. And if you have 100 potential competitive F&M grade decks instead of, 5, one, people are going to buy more sleeves, buy more cards, buy more singles, buy more packs. So that's huge. Build more decks. Be less repetitive, have more fun, get more into deck building. But you're just not going to have, if you're not playing one of these 3, 4, 5 decks, then you're not going to win, which is how it was at the end of like Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation. It got really bad with the Scarab God and Chain Whirler, and maybe there was a third deck people played. You played that or you lost. That I've never seen such a missed ban opportunity in my life. They even said, we're not banning Chain Whirler because it rotates out, so just wait 6 weeks. So in other words, don't play the game for 6 weeks because it'll rotate out, and then Mono Red still continued to be a thing afterwards. I mean, I'm still getting my ass kicked by werewolves with certain decks. And this is with my, I got to Mythic in a weak deck. Like, don't get it twisted. My decks are powerful. But when they just get run over by, hexproof werewolves, there's a problem. When somebody's playing creatures and I'm playing hyper control and they can get past my hyper control because I'm not playing too dickish enough of a control deck, it's like a moderately annoying but still kind of good control deck, that's pretty messed up. It's an anti-creature deck and they beat me with creatures. That's when you know the creature deck is too good. It's just examples like that, balancing examples and you want to build a zombies deck. Well, you stand approximately 0% chance of winning because there's just too much control. Your zombies are going to die, and zombies come back from the grave and keep dropping in tokens. That's what they do. They can't play around control. And remember, several months ago, quite a few actually, you could win with a zombies deck. That was the best deck in the world. Right around Crimson, that's when it was pretty good. And just the triggers, guys. You guys have seen my live streams. It's very common to have 250 to 500 life on both sides and nobody can do anything about it because of the counter dumping and the ramping and the life gain triggers. And then, it takes 5 to 10 minutes to resolve the number of triggers because you have to target them all individually. That should never be a thing. So what they did is they looked at standard and they said, deck variety, nothing's really standing out. Okay, it's fine. And didn't look any further. I can't tell if they're just covering for the fact that they know they power ramped it to hell and nobody likes it, or they're just so clueless they don't know. They just only listen to the people that are like, I love standard, I still play it. And they're like, oh, why? Tell me why. They never listen to the people that don't play it because they just walked away. They're not even going to fill out a survey at this point. That's why if you see the survey via email, tweet, whatever, fill it out, because if you watch my channel, you are pissed at the state of standard. From what I can tell by the comment section, you guys are angrier than I am. So let's move on past this. Modern, they say. And Modern, Legacy, and Vintage, I don't know crap about it. I haven't played Modern in 6 years. I heard it was awful, but thank God it kind of moved 4 years ago off of the stupid classic, just Jund and the crap. And they've made some pretty good bans in the past, actually. Very controversial by, entitled idiots who just want free wins, but very, very well thought out and deserving. So I haven't played Modern at all. I'll just take what they say at face value. Okay, I can't say that with a straight face. So, the Modern metagame continues to show great playstyle diversity with aggro, tempo, combo, control, and ramp all represented in the top 10 most played decks. Oh, wow, okay. The most played deck is it Murktide. Oh, God. If I needed a reason not to play it, that name right there. Represents about 10% of the Magic Online metagame that hovers right around a 50% win rate. So, okay. Yeah, that's pretty hard to achieve with Modern. I tend to agree with them. The top decks show strengths and weaknesses against each other, and there looks to be plenty of room for less popular rogue decks to be successful. Boom! Now see, if they cared about that for Standard, they'd be panicking and banning things left and right. Room for less popular rogue decks to be successful. Or as I like to call it, decks you actually built with half competency because you thought it would be neat and wanted to try something, actually winning occasionally at a tournament. Or I should say casual player F&M, not like a tournament. You should bring hyper-powerful net decks to a tournament. I'll be the first one to tell you. If there's money on the line, you don't have to care about anybody else's fun or enjoyment of the game. That's not what you're there for. So then that's all they said. So Legacy, since the ban of Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer, which I completely agree with, in January, the win rate of Visit Delver has come down. Good. Now ban Delver in Standard. And the deck now shows appropriate strengths and weaknesses against the other most played archetypes: Reanimator, Control, Resource Denial, Combo, and Aggro. That's how you pronounce it. Shut up. It's also Dragon and Bag, not whatever you guys say that sounds British. Don't come at me like that saying I say it wrong if you say coupon, okay? People who say coupon instead of coupon should be locked up in an asylum. The hell is wrong with you people? You probably like green olives too. Don't even get me started. I'm going to do a mega rant tomorrow, I swear. I've got some pent-up frustration and you're going to hear about it. Anyway, all that crap I just said and additional macro archetypes are all seeing success. Oh boy, who cares? Legacy and vintage aren't magic. We'll continue to keep an eye out for potentially unhealthy or unfun play patterns. Oh, that's funny. Well, you must have Helen Keller monitoring that because it's Legacy and there is no such thing. It's a coin flip and whoever goes first wins. I think it was 85% of the time. Maybe that was vintage. I don't know. To me, they're the same. They're very different, but to me, they're the same. Uncomfortable power level cards that were never meant to go together, and the gameplay doesn't even resemble Magic. It's a joke. It's rules lawyering. It's rich people. There's nothing good about it. Not one single good thing about it, either of them. Just don't do anything with them. The counterfeit problem, I could go on. Anyway, so guys, they're going to watch for unfun play patterns, but not in standard though. But otherwise, natural metagame forces currently look sufficient to handle any short-term shifts in deck popularity, which in Vintage Legacy, they kind of don't want to change, which I thought was interesting. I kind of see that, but they manage Modern different. They do want that to change because it was getting stale. And too expensive. So next up, Vintage. Yay! Last but not least, just kidding, it is on both accounts. As always, data on Vintage tends to come in relatively small sample sizes. They said it, not me, but we're not currently seeing anything. Oh my gosh, that indicates changes being necessary. I bet you didn't look very hard either. I just played against the same person 4 times in one night yesterday on Standard, ranked, constructed on Arena, so I'm surprised they had a sufficient sample size for that, let alone Vintage. Anyway, recent Magic Online, which is the only place people play Vintage, challenge events show generally good diversity in decks and strategies, new additions from Modern Horizons 2 that ruined everything, and other recent sets continue to show up. I guess they're fine with that. And there appears to be a healthy potential for experimentation at the individual card level. As always, we'll continue listening to the community feedback. Vintage people are never happy. They're basically like the liberals of the Magic world. Nothing is ever good enough for them. Their whole thing is that they're always angry and they're always complaining, and a lot of them are stuck-up rich douchebags. Oh, and if you play Vintage and I just hurt your feelings, let me apologize about your wings. Shut up. Get off my channel. I hate you. So anyway, that's it for the ban announcement. We are not going to see anything banned before rotation and standard because they think it's well-balanced and perfectly healthy, I guess. I mean, rogue deck viability, overall satisfaction with the format, power level in general, none of that came up. They cannot possibly not be aware of it. Mark Rosewater literally took a survey, pre-rotation actually, it's about 1.5 years ago now, I think at this point, that said, are you happy with the standard power level? And the overwhelming majority of people on his own blog and Twitter said, no, we want it lower. So they listened by just kidding, they didn't, and the sets went nuts. I don't think we're going to see anything on par with Strixhaven and Kaldheim, but there's like 3 or 4 cards in Capenna that I'm like, okay, yeah, they either let that through or they did that on purpose. And still Capenna didn't sell that well from what I heard, but nothing's selling very well because their favorite politicians ruined the entire world economy, so there's that. Oopsies, they're probably more focused on that and less focused on fixing standard and fixing the game and making money, which is ironic because in these circumstances, you really would want to kind of hoard money, stuff in your cheeks like a squirrel, and then just turtle. That's what everyone's going to have to do over the next 2 to 3 years. Trust me, there is nothing that's going to fix this. If you want to hear more about that, emergency survival tips on YouTube, I'm probably going to forget to put it in the description, but that's my new channel. It is explosively successful. I already have a couple videos with 30 to 40,000 views, and that's where I'm putting in the majority of my time, research, and actual effort, unlike this channel. But I am still going to upload Magic content, and oh my gosh, if you haven't seen the live streams, it is wacky. I just get to like whatever I want to, Diamond, Mythic, whatever was Mythic last time, and just screw with people with stupid decks I made up. And it is so funny watching them just rage out and time me out and spam emotes while we just sit there and laugh and then do like weird live stream stuff. It got way too rowdy last time. I'm not going to apologize because it was hilarious. The music got kind of lit. Every time I say it's not going to be a music stream, it turns out to be a music stream. And you just got to see it for yourself. One of these times I'll leave one up, but I say so much offensive shit and leave so much copyrighted stuff up, I literally can't. So you're just going to have to catch it live, turn on notifications if you want to see it. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. You guys are great, and I'll see you guys next time.